So outside of the basics like a camera, a light, this microphone that I'm wearing, this is single-handedly the most useful piece of film gear that I own. And it's not even really film gear, it's a 3D printer, the Prusa Mark IV's. And the whole point of this video is to show you just how useful 3D printing is for filmmakers and content creators. So I'm gonna walk you through the top 5 or 6 things that I've made that have either just made life easy or saved me on set when I didn't have another option. The first thing that I made is this. Now, what is this? This is a wall mount for a light. And basically, the reason I made it is in small offices or small studios, you don't have room for stands all over the place, or you're gonna be tripping on wires or stands, or things will knock over. And I wanted a clean way to be able to, put lights wherever I needed them. And on one side, it just has some holes. On the other, it has basically a pin to mount the light and some support so that this thing doesn't snap, because lights can get heavy when you put modifiers and things like that. Super simple. And then you can lock it down, you can do whatever you want to make sure that this thing is stable. The second thing isn't some cool custom solution to a problem. And that's what a lot of people think when they think 3D printers, and that's what a lot of people try and push on people when they're saying you should get a 3D printer. I think the second thing is the epitome of why 3D printing, and it's these very simple 15mm rods. Why would I want 15mm rods from a 3D printer when I could get them for a few bucks on Amazon next day shipping? The reason is, in a pinch, the nearest camera store that carries these is 30 or 45 minutes one way. So it would take an hour to an hour and a half just to drive back and forth, not counting waiting in line or doing anything like that. So I was able to make 50mm rods for a spare camera accessory immediately. I designed it because it's just a cylinder, but I designed it and printed it within 35 minutes. 5 of those were designing it, 30 minutes the printer was just printing away while I was setting stuff up. So by the time I was done setting stuff up, this was already done printing and it was already usable, which is why 3D printing. It's so cool to be able to just make whatever you want and do whatever you want. And these rods, basically, if you're not aware, they just kind of stick in something like this, and then you mount an accessory on here and you're ready to go. It's super simple, super useful, and I'm a huge fan of just problem solving quickly with 3D printing. Third thing that I made though is cool, custom, and happens to be very fast and easy to make. And it's a gobo. For those of you who don't know what a gobo is, I have it on right now. I have a light right over there, and it's making that kind of like fake window light right here. And what it is it's basically a stencil, and you put it on a projector attachment, and it gives you a certain kind of pattern on whatever wall or surface you're shining it on. And I was able to make a custom one. Let me show you. So this is it. It says subscribe, so maybe think about doing that. But overall, it was so easy to make. It's just a small piece of plastic that has subscribe spelled in it, and just light. So what this is really great for isn't just, fake window light, which is its primary purpose for filmmaking, but let's say you're a wedding videographer or photographer and you want to offer clients something really cool. You can write whatever you want into a light and have it shine on the walls or in the venue, or if you're doing a special video and you want a logo in it, there you go. It's just an easy way to do something cool and custom, and it took 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes, you have an instant kind of wow factor. The fourth thing that I made is really a couple of things. It's different types of screws. So one is just a normal 1/4-20 screw that you can use for quick release plates or mounting whatever, wherever. It's the standard screw for all filmmaking accessories, unless you get some beefier stuff. Super simple, something like this. It just screws in, and how I'm using them now is kind of just decoration unless I need them. They're not gonna last super duper long, but it's more of like in a pinch if I need something. One, I can print these in like 5 minutes, or two, I have a couple on hand just because. The other type of screw that I made is this kind of cable routing screw. So it's just a screw that it goes in, and then you can route your cable however you need to, kind of along these, and the cable will just clip in. So this took 20 minutes to design, but if I print 20 or 30 of them, then I have a ton of different ways to route cables neatly and cleanly, and that's kind of the point. So the fifth thing that I made is, in my opinion, the coolest thing that I made so far for filmmaking. and it's this phone case. This case is really cool because it does two main things. There are other cases that kind of do it, but this cost $2 to make and took maybe, 4 hours to print. It has a place for my Samsung T5 drive, just snaps in, super simple. And then the other thing that it has is filter threads for an 82 millimeter ND filter. And you might be wondering why 82 millimeters, it's a bit overkill. It's because this is the one that I have. That's the point, it's custom. I have this and I use it less than my 72 millimeter one. So I decided to put it in a phone case. I could make this whatever size I want to as long as it covers the iPhone lenses. This is really what saved the day on a shoot. I was letting somebody use an iPhone rig that I normally use for any kind of social media shoots or that sort of thing. But when a gig came up and they had it, I needed to figure out a solution because I couldn't get anything done on time. So what I ended up doing was I ended up making this case overnight and then used it for an entire day of shooting, and it worked. The issue is I didn't design it super well the first time. It actually broke. So the reason it broke is I didn't print it with the best design or the best materials, so it ended up being a bit too snug and it broke. It didn't break in any kind of tragic way though. It's still very, very usable, and I used it for the whole day even though it was cracked. But that's the point. This was a quick solution. I was able to prototype, print it, and just use it. Printed it overnight so I didn't have to wait for anything. So I woke up the next morning and I had something that I could use. But that's it. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff because it really helps the channel grow, and I really want to know what you guys think about this. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.